I only touched Uchiha Shisui in the river, yet I gained every power he had in life. I awakened the Uchiha bloodline and opened my eyes, and even found a way to awaken the Rinnegan alone. Because after I crossed into Naruto's body, I suddenly found something beside my bed, a strange fruit covered in odd patterns. When I forced myself to eat it out of curiosity, I learned it was Green Bull's Woodswood's fruit. It could absorb nutrients from plants and strengthen me, and even absorb people to gain all their living powers. But even with a Logia fruit and would release awakened, I could not feel happy at all right now. Because as the 3-year-old Ninetales Jinchuriki, I was watched around the clock by ANBU, and even streamed day and night by the Third's crystal ball, which meant I had no private space to train, but to quickly grow stronger. I came up with a plan. 2.5 years later, I would take Uchiha Shisui's body, so to scout the area early, I started going to the river to fish, telling others fish could help my malnourished body recover, while secretly using the Woodswood's fruit to root down and absorb nutrients from the soil. On the other hand, I changed fishing spots, slowly moving toward the Naka River, near the Uchiha district. From then on, I quietly developed in secret, and my body soon returned to health. Then half a month later, just as I worried about having no chakra and how to train the wood clone I needed for my plan, the Third suddenly came to my door, holding a scarf and a few padded clothes. The weather is cold, so I brought you some clothes. And some good news too, he said. I instantly smiled and thanked the old man. What good news? The Third gave a gentle smile, then placed a scroll on the table. Congratulations, Naruto. You have passed the test to become a ninja. But I pretended not to understand and asked, passed a test? Old man, when did you test me? The Third only shook his head. He could not exactly say. The will of fire had already taken root in my heart. After all, ever since my fishing scene triggered, he had kept feeding me the will of fire. More importantly, I had the Uzumaki physique, and the Ninetales chakra was starting to leak, so teaching me to refine chakra and suppress it was now the most urgent matter. Lately, I had also noticed a few of the ANBU watching me had left, because the fruit and the Ninetales chakra made me far more sensitive to malice. Soon, under the Third's guidance, I picked up the scroll and refined chakra for the first time, but I acted like nothing came out. Seeing my dejected face, the Third smiled with satisfaction. Take it step by step. There is no rush. With more practice, chakra will come naturally. After guiding me a little, he left happily. But he did not know I had succeeded on the first try. I only pretended to fail to fool him. Sure enough, not long after the Third left, one more hidden ANBU stopped watching me. Then I went to the bathroom and turned on the shower. Once the ANBU could no longer see me, I sat cross-legged and refined chakra again. After finishing this round, I raised my hand and watched my arm turn into wood. A smile slowly rose on my face. So it worked. The Woodswood's fruit power became much easier to use with chakra. Next, with my future knowledge, I could master chakra control early. Water walking and tree climbing could be trained in secret, but just as I prepared to practice water walking, my chakra suddenly became chaotic. It was hard to control, and I frowned. Then the answer hit me. I almost forgot. There was still someone inside me, a tenant owing years of rent. The moment I said that, an angry and shocked voice suddenly rang beside my ear. Brat, what did you say? No, not just a few years. Besides, my mother probably never charged you rent either. Kurama, I leaned by the tub, calmly washing myself as I spoke. The Ninetales was clearly stunned. After a long pause, he finally spoke. Nonsense, Brat. How do you know my name? But I still did not answer directly. This was my first time talking to him, so the impression had to be deep. I would choose secrets few in the ninja world knew, and make this fox feel a little goodwill. Maybe things would be easier later, but at that moment, a thought suddenly struck me, and I frowned. Wait, no. Once I absorb Uchiha Shisui's body and gain the Sharingan, then harvest corpses on the massacre night, I should evolve to Mangekyo Sharingan. Even reaching the eternal Mangekyo would not be impossible. By then, Kurama would only be a toy. But if possible, instead of a walking dead-tailed beast, I would rather have him obedient, while still able to think for himself. Of course, only if he behaved. So I revealed the Sage of Six Paths and told him he would soon become nutrients for the Ten Tails revival. The Nine Tails sneered after hearing it. I do not know where you learned this, but you underestimate me too much. What he did not expect was that I sneered right back. Ninetales, your power is too great. Sorry, but I cannot let you run free. As I spoke, I controlled the fruit's power. My arm into wood. In an instant, a shocked cry echoed through the seal space. Memories of being caught by that giant Buddha rushed back. As long as you behave and stop disrupting my chakra training. After saying that, I ignored his shouting and started controlling my chakra. I found this old fox was rather sensible. He stopped interfering, so I began water walking practice. As for tree climbing, it was basically the same thing, and practicing on slippery bathroom walls might work even better. To avoid being seen by the ANBU, I kept practicing in the bathroom. Not only that, whenever I went fishing, I secretly practiced in the water too. After all, absorbing nutrients took time. If I drained too much at once, the trees near my fishing spot would wither, and someone would notice. What surprised me even more was that chakra normally cannot be stored. It has to be refined constantly. But the nutrients from the wood's fruit actually let chakra be stored. Soon, as my chakra surged and reached 1 Kakashi unit, without realizing it, I had already mastered brute strength, basic nature transformation, the academy 3 jutsu, and the books the third sent me. I even started developing wood clone jutsu, though progress was painfully slow. Time quickly flew by, and the 2.5-year wait ended. When the village atmosphere felt strange again, I began my plan. For half a month after entering the bathroom, I used running water to hide the clone jutsu, then sent a clone outside, pretending to train chakra refinement, while my real body stayed in the bathroom to refine wood clone. With the fruit's elementalization, I used the nutrients stored in my body, and a piece of wood grew from my back. As nutrients continued feeding it, and over half my chakra vanished. That wood soon took on my appearance. Finally, it worked. I wiped the sweat from my forehead and smiled. After more testing, the wood clone gained basic thinking ability, so I let it leave the bathroom and play the usual me at home. Inside the bathroom, I glanced behind the wall, right where the ANBU watching me was hiding, and a mocking smile crossed my face. Then I formed a seal. The water sound and the bathroom door opening and closing perfectly covered the transformation jutsu. At the same time, the wood clone in the living room suddenly did something strange. It opened the front door, took a deep breath, waited, then closed it. The watching ANBU noticed nothing unusual, but he had no idea that the instant my clone opened the door, a tiny gecko had crawled out along the wall, then slipped past his sight and vanished into the forest. After crawling for a while, I did not change back right away. Instead, I used transformation jutsu again and became a nimble little cat, darting quickly through the forest until I found the cliff by the Uchiha district. Then I hid and activated the wood's fruit, rooting my feet to absorb nearby trees. I did not know when Shisui would fall, but I would wait here. It should happen in a few days. Soon, half a month passed. Then a loud splash rang out. I had been watching daily while training nature transformation and slowly opened my eyes. After waiting a moment, Uchiha Shisui's body floated to the surface. Only then did I move. Besides that, I had made an exciting discovery. The plants could actually send me information. After confirming Shisui was truly dead, I quickly used the fruit's power to send roots underwater and hold Shisui's body in place so the rushing current would not carry it away. My breathing quickened. After confirming no one saw me, I rushed over as fast as I could and picked up Uchiha Shisui's body. My heart raced and my hands trembled. After 2.5 years, I had him. After taking a deep breath, I carried Uchiha Shisui to the pit I had prepared and placed his body inside. Then I reached out and pushed the fruit's power. My young hand instantly turned wooden, becoming a wooden palm pressed to his chest. Absorb, I shouted in my heart. The next second, Shisui's body withered visibly, right before my eyes. At the same time, a flood of unique nutrients entered my body. Just absorbing a little made my spirit feel refreshed. In only a few blinks, Uchiha Shisui's body vanished, without even a single hair left behind. So this was full-powered absorption speed. Even I was stunned, though I felt my power suddenly surge, as if one punch could kill 10 bulls. I had no time to care about that, because time was tight. Once Danzo learned that Shisui was dead, he would surely send root ninja and tracking dogs after the trail. So to avoid future trouble, I picked up Shisui's blood-stained clothes, wrapped them around a stone, and threw them into the Naka River, then dove underwater, letting the current carry me downstream. The blood on my clothes was quickly washed clean in the water, leaving no scent. When I crawled home as a gecko, the wood clone covered my return, and I lay on the bed, feeling a large warm mass of nutrients in my body. Normally, after absorbing trees, I could go days without hunger. But absorbing the same amount from Shisui made my body feel completely tempered. To fully use up that huge mass would take at least 3 days. 3 days passed quickly. Shisui's nutrients were finally absorbed, and many strange yet familiar memories appeared in my mind. Not only ninja tools and academy jutsu, but body flicker, ninjutsu, and more. Even fire release and nature transformation training memories. Then, a familiar sound suddenly reached my ear. I turned to look and saw a little bee fly inside. Its flapping wings were clearly visible, and its movement seemed incredibly slow. The next second, my eyes burned hot, and tears streamed uncontrollably. I rushed into the bathroom, created the sound of running water, then looked at myself in the mirror. My original blue eyes had turned blood red, with patterns inside them. So I had opened one Tomo Sharingan. My body had not fully absorbed it yet. No need to rush. But if Shisui's body had been complete, or if his eyes were still there. No, I could not get too greedy. A few days soon passed. The Sharingan finally stopped with one eye at 2 Tomo, and the other at 1 Tomo. To improve them further, I would need other Uchiha corpses to absorb nutrients from. The next massacre plan was about 2 years away, when Sasuke would be 7 years old. 2 years later, I only had to wait for ninja school to suddenly run late and close. I still needed to digest mini jutsu. Soon, Shisui the teleporter would become Naruto the teleporter. Thinking of this, I smiled with real relief. Soon I turned 6 and entered the Ninja Academy. I got along with the Konoha 12 because my cooking was delicious. Tenten, Ino, and Hinata visited my home every day. But at school, one thing was different. While Iruka taught up front, I secretly meditated below to boost my spirit. And once my spirit grew, I could do certain things. For example, after school one day, I lay on my bed with eyes closed, then pushed my spirit through layer after layer. Yokorama, sleeping comfortably these years. Come to think of it, this is our first real meeting. As my voice fell, the fox behind the gate stared at me, all 9 tails shrinking back. Only then did he recover and say in disbelief, "Brat, how did you get in here?" I only smiled, because since the day I learned my spirit power could block his shared sight and senses, I had basically stopped letting him see or sense anything at all. He stared at the same seal space every day, unable to see through me, so of course he was bored. What the 9 tails never expected was what I said next. It made his eyes widen again. No need for extra talk. Do you want to live in a human way or not? The 9 tails first paused, then quickly sneered aloud. I do not know how you can say such impossible words, but I can tell you, even that old sage of 6 paths could not. Before he could finish, his eyes suddenly widened, because he saw my eyes had become Sharingan. So you think what I just said was fake? Besides, if Kagaya Otsutsuki could make white Zetsu, so can I, and mine will be even better. I already had the concept in mind. Once the Woods fruit was developed enough, I could use the pure, natural force drawn from tree nutrients and inject it into a special wood clone. Then with the 9 tails spirit leading it, it could revive in another form. After the 9 tails calmed down, he asked unwillingly, "Brat, I admit you have shocked me again. You are special." So, however, before he finished, I suddenly raised a hand and cut him off. You do not have to answer in a hurry. Think it over during this time. That is all. My spirit is nearly spent. I have to go, and my figure faded away. The 9 tails sighed deeply. Fine, even if I am lying to myself, at least I will not always be controlled by those damned eyes. After I left the seal space and opened my eyes again, I only felt tired. It seemed meditation training had to continue. Entering on my own consumed too much spirit. But just then, I suddenly felt the chakra in my body become more active. That last faint resistance had fully vanished. Ha, what a tsundere fox. This sentence, I did not block from him. My chakra had increased by at least 4 kakashis and no longer drained into the seal. Then while meditating, I slowly fell asleep. The next day came quickly and I went to ninja school. Watching a bunch of little kids enter the classroom, I knew it was time, because the watching ANBU no longer dared to follow openly. In that case, I would have plenty of time to train other things. After realizing this, I returned to my seat and began planning. From now on, my wood clone would attend school, with the clan kids helping cover for me. I did not worry about being exposed. Soon, as Iruka started class, I lay on the desk and slept. But in truth, I trained chakra nature transformation in secret. It seemed Rasengan training should begin. Soon, lunch break arrived. I brought a few close friends back home to eat, but while everyone was eating, I tapped the table and said seriously, "Everyone, I need your help." Seeing my serious expression, down their chopsticks. Ninja school has nothing left to teach me. I plan to use a clone there as a cover, so I need you to help me hide it. What, Naruto, you learned Shadow Clone already? As expected of my lifelong rival. Amazing. Things went beyond my expectations. Why were they not shocked I was skipping school, but shocked that I knew Shadow Clone? Just then, Tenten beside me suddenly spoke. Naruto, did you think we noticed nothing? You have many secrets you keep hidden. Do not think we are useless just because we are kids too, so go do what you want to do. They all looked at me seriously. Shikamaru figured it out, right. Hearing me say that, they instantly looked away. I smiled and shook my head. Shikamaru, I underestimated you. Then I will leave it to you. Shikamaru's young face flushed, but he still put on a helpless look. What a drag. Fine, I have no reason to refuse. After saying that, Shikamaru stood and entered the bathroom. Seeing that, I followed him in, because I knew Shikamaru wanted to speak with me alone. I do not know why things became this way, but I want to say, if things ever get out of control, I will try to pull Inoshikacho out. Hearing Shikamaru, I smiled, as expected of you. Relax, I have a trump card. You may not need to endure so much. As I spoke, my hand turned wooden. Wood clone, and the next second, my wooden arm grew a piece of wood about my size. Then at visible speed, it became another me. Shikamaru's eyes widened. He was smart, sure, but he was still too young. He could understand many things, but not what they truly meant. Are you crazy? Why show me this? Are you not afraid that? He lowered his head. After a moment, he looked at my wood clone, then shook his head with a smile. What a drag. I really cannot stand you. After he and the clone went out, I took a deep breath. This day finally came. I no longer had to hide so carefully. A relieved smile rose on my face. The next second, I used body flicker and vanished from the bathroom. Soon, I reached the waterfall I had chosen, then spread out both hands, madly absorbing nutrients from nearby trees, while also receiving their latest news. As long as no one came, I could train without worry. Soon, 3 months passed, and I stopped testing the phantom body flicker I had shaped into my style. It was time to go back, let my body rest for a while, then train the Raisin Shuriken. Because the academy exam was coming, the third might observe it. To avoid exposing my wood clone, I went to school myself, since we were first years. Transformation jutsu came first, so the exam was very simple. I passed it easily. As for culture and theory tests, I held back as expected. I was not dead last, but only barely passed. But the Will of Fire section was full marks. After everyone showed their transformations, Iruka announced vacation. But as I was leaving, I suddenly glanced back at the hidden eyes watching me. So it was Uchiha Itachi. Then, I looked at the innocent Sasuke. If I remembered right, in the original story, Sasuke was 7, around 2nd grade, when the Uchiha were wiped out. Itachi, thanks for reminding me to prepare. Thinking this, I ignored him and simply turned away. During this summer break, I had to master Raisin Shuriken and Sage Mode too. Night soon fell. I left a wood clone at home, while my real body went beneath the waterfall and sat down to train Sage Mode. But to my surprise, after some research, I actually created 2 kinds of Sage Mode. The first was natural Sage Mode with markings. It boosted every part of my body. And this Sage Chakra had strong healing power for plants and the body. What thrilled me even more was that under the nourishment of Sage Chakra, both Sharingan reached 2 Tomo. The second was Wood Sage Mode. Made by fusing nutrients with natural energy, my body became wooden, my hair turned into vines, and my body could change freely. My arms could stretch, or I could disguise myself as a tree. And more importantly, in this Sage Mode, my clones could enter it directly. At that moment, I smiled. I was not truly invincible yet, but I had reached Super Kage level. And after the massacre night, I could rise several more levels, and Wind Release Raisin Shuriken could now be trained with Sage Mode. So I made a white Zetsu-style wood clone and had it enter natural Sage Mode. I almost forgot. Raisin Shuriken makes too much noise, but just as that thought came, a smile rose on my face. Perfect timing. Why did he suddenly stop moving? Dozens of meters away from me, on a large tree, a white head suddenly appeared. He looked at me in confusion, and at the clone in Sage Mode, standing completely still. What a strange kid. Forget it. That does not matter. I need to report this to the main body. The spore-like white head slowly sank down. But as he tried to merge into the tree, a resistance he had never felt appeared. The white figure could only land on the ground. Why is this happening? Did that kid actually discover me? Impossible. My Mayfly Jutsu is top class. For hiding, even Sensor Ninja cannot easily find me. As the white figure scratched his head, giant man-eating flower appeared behind him unnoticed and swallowed the chattering white figure. In one bite, I flickered beside the flower. Today's surprise gains were huge. With Mayfly and Impersonation Jutsu, things would be much easier later. Thanks for nature's gift, time quickly flowed on, and the Academy Taijutsu exam began. During this time, I let the white Zetsu clone handle school and training in my place, while I focused on meditation and watched for the strangest day to arrive. Today is Taijutsu combat training. First pair, Uchiha Sasuke, and his opponent is Uzumaki Naruto. Iruka hesitated. Though I was the top student in name, my real combat performance was just average. If I fought Sasuke of the Uchiha clan, I might get crushed. Heh, I finally got you, he said, right after the seal of confrontation. Wait, what? Bro, I am not the original Naruto. I never provoked you. Shut up. I will not let the Uchiha glory be stained. Watching him charge at me, I was a little stunned. Why so dramatic? Was it because I was not like the original, so he had no one to show off to? Or maybe Itachi stood him up again, so he dumped that anger onto me, the forced top student. Watching Sasuke's fist come at me like slow motion, I wondered if I should let him win. But right then, I suddenly received news from my white Zetsu wood clone. Itachi had left Root headquarters and returned straight to the Uchiha, then met a masked man. As the clone sent the message, many Root ninja also moved out, heading straight for the Uchiha clan. So tonight was the massacre night. No wonder Sasuke was acting so edgy, and no wonder there was training today. School would probably last until night. The next second, Sasuke's punch landed, but everyone was shocked because he hit me, yet passed through my body. A clone jutsu. Sasuke reacted in disbelief. He was an Uchiha. Yet a mere clone jutsu had fooled his eyes. However, just as everyone thought it would vanish, the phantom suddenly turned around and kicked Sasuke right in the butt. Little damage, maximum humiliation. Ha ha ha. That brat must be furious now. Kurama laughed inside the seal space. I helplessly looked at the stunned Iruka. Can you announce the result? Phantom body flicker. That is Shisui's fighting style. Iruka completely lost composure. Why do you know that move? Sasuke was near breaking down. Damn it, he remembered. The clan members suspected his brother killed Uchiha Shisui. In rage, he quickly formed hand signs. Fire release, great fireball jutsu. Seeing his hand movement, I knew what he wanted. And Iruka, after realizing Sasuke knew ninjutsu, stopped him right away. This is only taijutsu training. Sasuke, you went too far, use the seal. After stopping Sasuke, Iruka clearly sighed in relief. How did you learn? Brother Shisui's fighting style. Could Shisui still be alive? Then why has he not appeared and cleared my brother's suspicion? Sasuke suddenly went silent, but I ignored his questions. Because I knew well, after showing that move, the third would soon come asking. Then I could explain it as a fighting style I invented, making him think I inherited my parents' talent, while saying I still struggled with clone jutsu, then act a little reckless with my dream of becoming Hokage to indirectly steal the scroll of seals. Actually, Mayfly Jutsu could steal it unnoticed, but I did not know where it was. Also, there were traps. Once the scroll was stolen, alarms would surely cause chaos in the village. Too risky. Today's lesson has a lot of content, so school will end a little late. Alright, combat training continues. Iruka continued calling names while I told Shikamaru and Choji. Then went to the bathroom. I returned normally, but the one back was my wood clone, while my real body used Mayfly Jutsu and headed toward the Uchiha district, waiting for the massacre night to arrive. And my Sage Mode clones had already found perfect positions before the Naka shrine in the Uchiha district. Uchiha Itachi looked around blankly. Come out, as his voice fell. Before Itachi, space twisted into a vortex. Looking at Itachi's killing intent, Obito emerged from the vortex and smiled. So you chose Konoha? Itachi asked back after hearing him. Is that not what you wanted? Obito said nothing. One Sharingan fixed on him, and Itachi wasted no more words. I need your help. I will not take the Sharingan. Seeing he remembered the deal, Obito was direct. I will handle the police force and finish them as fast as possible. Do not disappoint me. Then Obito activated Kamui and slowly vanished. After the masked man left, Uchiha Itachi immediately used body flicker and reached the top of the district, watching the clan below. At the same time, I used Mayfly Jutsu and reached the Uchiha area, but I came to where Shisui jumped off. My real body arrived, and two sage clones stood up together and greeted me, but I ignored them and instead looked to the side. The next second, I reached out, elementalizing into a long wooden hand that touched a nearby tree. I confirmed that besides Uchiha Itachi, no one knew how Shisui died, and the traces were clean. And did I truly relax? Then the natural woods clone spoke. Main body has confirmed it. The Uchiha district is surrounded by ninja, judging by chakra and clothing. They are definitely Danzo's root ninja. My lips curled slightly. Itachi's performance was about to begin, but there was still time before they moved. Enough for us to prepare. To avoid exposing our identity, start with the impersonation jutsu, following my order. The two clones formed seals together, and dozens of wood clones appeared. The instant they appeared, their bodies began changing. Soon, all my clones had different appearances. Even their aura and chakra changed. Mission: absorb all Uchiha nutrients. Leave the eyes. I need them to stimulate my Sharingan. Also, leave no jutsu or valuables behind. In short, take everything. As my voice fell, all the clones sank into the ground, using Mayfly Jutsu to rush toward the Uchiha district. I glanced toward the Ninja Academy. Sasuke, you will be penniless after this. Do not blame me. Blame Kurama instead. Inside the seal space, Kurama felt truly proud. One word: satisfying. This Jinchuriki suited his taste perfectly. No empty talk of kindness and justice. Comfortable. But this kid seemed to have mastered Hashirama Senju's Sage Mode, and his natural energy absorption was not worse than mine. No, I need a plan. Or once his patience runs out, I might become a Sharingan puppet. Naturally, I did not know what Kurama was thinking, but I did not care, because whenever I used the fruit's power, I blocked him off, so I was not worried. That fox would learn anything. Then I checked the sky, used impersonation jutsu, and became the real Uchiha Madara. Then used Mayfly Jutsu to enter the ground. Soon, as night fell, the outer Uchiha district was brightly lit. But after a few strange sounds, one home's lights went out. In the dark, atop a utility pole, a figure suddenly appeared as blood dripped from his ninja blade. Uchiha Itachi showed no emotion. His eyes were already open. The Crimson Mangekyo Sharingan. Then he flickered onto the Uchiha street and continued toward the core area. He was like an NPC made only to kill, with no emotion at all. In just half an hour, the Uchiha district barely had anyone alive. Meanwhile, I rose from the ground onto the utility pole where Itachi stood, looking over the dark Uchiha district where blades had gone dull. I sensed Itachi's speed while commanding clones to move through homes he had just left. Fallen civilians were left untouched, but valuables and inherited jutsu were all taken. In ninja homes, the Sharingan were all collected. I used the fruit's power to make a flower, and stored the eyes inside. As for the bodies, they were dragged underground for my clones to absorb. Itachi kept cutting wheat while I gathered the harvest. The police force side had many gains too, but I could not follow Obito too closely. That guy was truly cautious. After a brief silence, I suddenly vanished. I found the Uchiha clan's hidden treasury. Secret jutsu scrolls, forbidden jutsu, money, eyes, everything. I did not use wood clones, but shadow clones, because making 1,000 shadow clones was easier than 100 wood clones. And with so much here, shadow clones were more convenient. They could take everything to storage, then disappear on their own. For temporary storage, I chose behind the waterfall. After casting shadow clone, I vanished again and arrived beside the freshly killed Uchiha Izumi, a 13-year-old girl with 3 tomo. Her Sharingan talent was strong. Obito had not taken them because Itachi made collection inconvenient, but I could do it. However, just as I crouched down to handle it myself, the wood sage white Zetsu clone suddenly spoke. Main body, she just died less than 3 minutes ago. If I use all my energy, I can save her. Hearing that, I fell silent. Meanwhile, inside the clan leader's house, Fugaku and Makoto knelt there. But just then, from the darkness came a blood-covered figure. He held a blade soaked with Uchiha blood. I am sorry, Itachi held the blade. As tears poured down, nearby, I sensed everything that happened and nearly laughed. Could this be called crocodile tears? Soon, after Itachi painfully killed his parents, it was right then. Brother. Late arriving Sasuke stared in disbelief, his eyes filled with terror. He kept stepping back, then collapsed to the ground. Why, brother? Sasuke nearly screamed it out. He wanted to tell his brother what happened with Naruto at school. He could choose not to say it, but it meant Uchiha Shisui might still be alive. Unfortunately, Sasuke's mind was blank. Soon after, under Uchiha Itachi's Mangekyo Tsukuyomi, his Sharingan opened to 1 tomo in rage. Only 1 tomo. Even Itachi fell silent. Seems it was not enough. Then again, forgive me, Sasuke, Tsukuyomi once more. Sasuke was on the edge of collapse, crying and shouting no, but his eyes still stayed 1 tomo. Itachi stopped Tsukuyomi, looking at his brother, about to faint from the shock. Uchiha Itachi spoke that classic line, "My foolish little brother, hate me, curse me. Once you have the same eyes as me, come find me." After those words, Sasuke passed out. Itachi took 1 deep look at him, not daring to look back at his parents, then used body flicker and left. Not long after Itachi left, I slowly rose from the ground. Main body, she is not cold yet. Take her away. She may become useful someday. Forget it, saving 1 is enough. Fugaku's nutrients are important. They may be key to evolving my eyes. It was the wood clone that took Fugaku and Makoto, their bodies still warm. Then I glanced at Sasuke, and hesitated, but still created 2 shadow clones to take every jutsu and forbidden scroll. Leave Sasuke some money, that is enough. But right then, a clone sent me a message. Root ninja have entered. White Zetsu has appeared too. Both sides are heading here. Besides civilian bodies, not 1 Uchiha ninja, or anyone with Sharingan, was left behind. Forget the eyes, not even a hair remains. The disguised clone saw Root Ninja and White Zetsu arrive together and gave a wicked little smile. Before sinking underground with the last kunai, White Zetsu and Root found nothing. Both sides stared at the empty room, their eyes going wide. It was you. Outside, Danzo had just been stripped of his advisor role by Hiruzen. He thought the many Sharingan he would gain would be decent compensation, but unexpectedly, when the Root Ninja came back to report, he completely exploded. Not 1, none. The blood on the floor had not even dried, but all the bodies were gone, without leaving any trace. Damn it, Danzo roared. Damn Uchiha Madara. You broke your word, find them. Find whatever you can. Meanwhile, Obito, after splitting up from Uchiha Itachi, also received White Zetsu's report. He froze on the spot, then sneered, Danzo, impressive move. Luckily when he cleared the police force, he had taken some eyes too, or he would have left empty-handed. How should I say it? A smile never vanishes, it only transfers. When I reached the temporary storage spot, I could not help laughing out loud. As expected of Konoha's richest clan, the Uchiha were loaded beyond belief. Then I looked toward the many wood clones, and sensed each one filled with Uchiha nutrients, so much it might take days to absorb. Plus a small mountain of Sharingan. Mangekyo was certain. Eternal Mangekyo might be possible too. But soon, I frowned, and looked toward a corner, where flowers made by the fruit held the bed, where Uchiha Makoto and Uchiha Izumi lay. Their wounds had completely healed, and their beating hearts proved they were still alive. They only needed 1 last step to wake up. As for Fugaku, he had become the richest source of Uchiha nutrients. Too rich. Looking at storage scroll after storage scroll, almost filling the whole storage area. Inside were huge amounts of money, plus mountains of ninjutsu scrolls, forbidden secrets and more. The sheer wealth shocked even someone like me. But then I smiled. Maybe I did not need to learn these scrolls. Once I absorbed everybody's nutrients, I could master them. Not only that, this time, I even had the eyes. As I spoke, I glanced toward where the eyes were stored. 70 pairs of 3 Tomo Sharingan, 100 pairs of 2 Tomo, and 300 pairs of 1 Tomo. The most special were Fugaku's eyes. Almost infinitely close to Mangekyo Sharingan, no rush to absorb them. There were too many to finish quickly anyway. So I would start with the eyes. My 2 Tomo Sharingan should evolve now. Unfortunately, my Mangekyo might not produce an ability, since I did not awaken it myself. But once it reaches the Rinnegan, what should come will come. I took a deep breath, calmed myself down, then raised my hand and used the fruit's power. The tree storing the eyes grew vines, slowly bringing each Sharingan right before me, and the tree's message said, no one had come here in years. There would be no problem. My hand also turned elemental, and countless tiny vines moved toward the many Sharingan, piercing in to absorb their nutrients, then quickly sending them back into me. A vast, pure ocular power surged in. My eyes burned instantly. As I closed them, tears kept pouring out. Soon, my face was covered in tears, but the burning did not fade. Instead, it grew hotter. My eyes swelled, then everything went black. I could see nothing. After 15 minutes, sight returned. I looked at the mirror beside me and saw my eyes had changed again. Mangekyo Sharingan, with a pattern I had never seen. By now, all the Sharingan were drained, their nutrients fully gone. Although I had not digested it all yet, I felt I was still slightly short, so I absorbed Fugaku's eyes too. The ocular power inside reached a threshold, and once Fugaku's nutrients entered, it broke through the limit. Then a special chakra suddenly emerged inside my mind. Both Mangekyo spun again. The chakra drain was too great. No, all would clones return. Soon, as I closed my eyes, my body turned elemental, and every waiting would clone merged back into my real body. The nutrients inside me instantly overflowed, with no time for anything else. Absorbed the Uchiha nutrients at full power. Moments later, my eye pattern grew complex, but it kept spinning. I clenched my teeth and pushed absorption to the maximum. For a full hour, sweat soaked through my clothes. When I opened my eyes, eternal Mangekyo. By now, most of my chakra was spent, and right then, I sensed the last remaining Azura chakra inside me, and did not hesitate. I pulled it out directly and injected it into my eyes. Although I now had one condition, needed to awaken Rinnegan. I would not consider Rinnegan yet, because my body was still too young. I could not strengthen my eyes further. I sat down heavily, and a huge flower rose as a cushion. Just as I expected, these nutrients were enough for eternal Mangekyo, plus many ninjutsu and forbidden jutsu. Memory fragments too. My body still had to digest them slowly. Haste makes waste. I should go home and sleep well. Then with a thought, the fruit's power activated. Countless vines filled the entire temporary storage site. If anything moved, I would sense it right away. But just as I stepped out to leave, I suddenly turned back, almost forgot. I walked toward Uchiha Makoto and Uchiha Izumi, and touched their closed eyes with my hand. Just now, I almost failed to resist, absorbing you both. Thank your good clan leader and husband. His ocular nutrients were just enough. Thinking this, I smiled with amusement. Azura's chakra was handled too. That unseen pull on my mind was finally gone. I will keep you for now. I give you the purest nutrients, and you give feedback as pure Uchiha nutrients. After speaking, I withdrew my hand. Looking at 2 classic Uchiha beauties, 2 man-eating flowers grew behind them, and swallowed them in one bite, leaving only their heads out to breathe. After finishing the cleanup, I immediately used Mayfly Jutsu and sank underground, heading back home. A moment later, I returned home. My wood clone merged back. After bathing, I sat down, merged some memories, then prepared to sleep. But unexpectedly, someone suddenly knocked on the door. Already, that was fast. Maybe he had nothing else to do. After receiving my clone's memories, I found that all afternoon until now, the third never used his crystal ball once. Grandpa, why are you here? Come in and sit. I first acted sleepy and slightly annoyed, but seeing it was the third as expected, my expression changed at once. The third seemed pleased. After entering, he asked how I was lately. I answered with little everyday things, then used my friends visiting to casually move past it. Good. You have made many friends, but I heard you defeated Sasuke today. The third smiled kindly, but his eyes carried a deep probing look. He watched my expression closely, missing nothing, but I still acted completely natural. I lifted my head and said proudly, of course. I am the young leaf grandpa personally watered. One day, I will grow into a tree that protects everyone and become Hokage like you. Ah, good. You have grown a lot. Seeing his old face bloom with joy, I held back disgust and smiled. Grandpa, you said in a fight, we must adapt and use our strengths. When I fought Sasuke today, I suddenly thought to combine clone jutsu from the 3 jutsu with body flicker. I did not expect it to work so well. Sasuke never expected that move at all. Then I looked at the third expectantly. Naruto, you are very clever. That fighting style is powerful. Right, I looked like a praised child, happy and excited. But right then, I suddenly looked troubled and said, But Grandpa, my clone jutsu is weak. It fails very easily, and phantom clones vanish quickly. Is that not obvious? You have 9 tails chakra inside you. Disruption is normal. You just need more practice. I heard there is a shadow clone beyond clone jutsu, and I heard a teacher mention some forbidden techniques that can make people strong. Grandpa, I want to learn those. I want to become strong fast, then become a Hokage everyone accepts. As soon as I finished, the third smile froze for a few seconds. He looked at me with mixed feelings. This child truly accepts Konoha now and understands my will of fire. He inherited Minato and Kushina's talent too. The Uzumaki clan has strong sensing ability. There is no need to monitor him anymore. The suspicious ones at school are Mizuki and Orochimaru. You still have not given up. No rush, you are still young. One day, Grandpa will give you a big gift. Okay, Grandpa is the best. Then I will not disturb your rest. Grandpa must keep working for the village. Okay, goodbye Grandpa. After the third left, the smile on my face vanished, and my eyes turned ice cold. Old man, keep laughing. Tomorrow, I will make you cry. The news that I easily beat genius Sasuke spread through the academy the next day, and won me many fangirls. Right after the massacre night, Sasuke, who never took leave, actually missed several days. This time, the classmates and older girls who liked him all turned toward me. So Ino, Tenten, and Hinata got jealous every day. But 1 week later, although Cold Sasuke came online in the second term exam, I still first place overall, even though I held back hard to avoid standing out. That damned grading teacher must have been personally chosen by that shameless third. During the next vacation, I not only finished Raisin Shuriken training, but made the Tsundere Ninetales resist less, because he clearly knew my current strength was beyond what he could imagine. But it also made him wonder, are our future enemies really that strong? Seeing a little kid like me train so hard without relaxing for so many years made him start to worry. During this time, I often visited storage. Uchiha Makoto and Uchiha Izumi received my nutrients and gained huge benefits, especially Uchiha Makoto, who grew much younger, which gave me another idea. So sometimes, while cooking, I infused nutrients into vegetables. The effect was obvious. Hinata and Ino became prettier after eating. Soon, the graduation exam arrived. I did not follow the original plot and easily passed the 3 jutsu exam directly. The next day, Hinata and Ino came to take graduation photos with me. Of course, I agreed. It was just a pity I could not get the scroll of seals the original way, because yesterday I had a clone watch Mizuki's movements, but somehow, that guy had become extremely obedient until I sensed nearby A and BU changing shifts. It seemed I could only wait for the bullet. I fired it the 3rd years ago. If my guess was right, his graduation gift should be the Scroll of Seals. Thinking this, I took them to the Hokage building, but to my surprise, after we handed our files to the 3rd, he waved and told us to leave first. Watching me walk away, the 3rd took a puff. I did promise him a big gift. His clone jutsu was average, no rush. This gift will work better when he needs it most. That would be best. Meanwhile, I soon arrived at the storage point, then reached out and touched Makoto and Izumi. You ate so many nutrients, now feed me back. I had been doing this for years, so I knew it well. But to my surprise, just as I controlled the roots to absorb nutrients, Uchiha Makoto suddenly made a sound. At the same time, her younger-looking face moved slightly. I was startled at once. Waking up, that should not happen. Did I absorb too much lately? I shook my head and ignored it. Awake or not, I still had to absorb. Seeing Makoto's red lips turn slightly pale, I felt it was enough. Then switched to Uchiha Izumi. These two were quite talented. Makoto may look like a gentle wife and mother, but she was actually a powerful shinobi. Being able to open 3 tomo at her age proved her strength was no joke. After so many years, I even felt Uchiha Makoto had provided 6 Fugaku's worth, while Uchiha Izumi gave less. Only about 3 Fugaku's worth. But right then, I suddenly noticed Uchiha Izumi's lashes tremble. Seeing this, I frowned and immediately pinched her cheek. But even after it turned red, Uchiha Izumi made no other move. Judging by this, waking up would take at least 2.5 years. After adding more nutrients to them, I used Mayfly Jutsu and left, but I did not know that soon after I vanished, Makoto and Izumi's nourished faces turned red at visible speed. And even stranger, their throats made odd sounds, like some form of communication. A few days passed in a blink, and class assignments finally arrived. After washing up, I put on my forehead protector, but after thinking, I still tied a bulging ninja pouch to my thigh. This pouch should have everything I need. I was already rich enough. Once I take Gato's money too, rebuilding the land of whirlpools will be easy. Soon, after arriving at the academy, under Irika's announcement, we were grouped like the original story. Our Jonin instructor is here. I am leaving first. Ino hugged me briefly, then unwillingly left with Shikamaru and Choji. Then teammate, we should go too. A graceful figure appeared at the door. Then came the long wait. I meditated directly, while on Sasuke's cold face, impatience soon appeared. But Sakura felt like she had one because these two before her were both pleasing to look at, so it was not boring. With Ino gone, she finally dared to secretly study me. Guilt made her feel ashamed, but about an hour later, the classroom door opened suddenly and the white-haired man with a book appeared. Sorry, I got lost on the road of life. Though he said sorry, in truth, his eyes showed no apology at all. Sasuke snorted coldly as usual. At the same time, I slowly opened my eyes and left meditation. Then I stood and walked toward Kakashi. Sakura, who planned to complain and pretend she had waited impatiently too, quickly hurried after me instead. Sasuke followed silently with a gloomy face, but just as Kakashi raised a hand, seemingly about to say something, I walked straight past him. Where are you three going? Three troublemakers, what a pain. But before he finished, I stopped in my tracks. When I stopped, Sasuke and Sakura stopped too. Kakashi thought we gave him face, but my next words stunned him on the spot. I am different from him. I am not a little son. Those words struck like thunder. What does he mean? No, Teacher Minato? No, impossible. Then my voice came from behind him. Teacher Kakashi, will you be late to the rooftop too? Hearing my words, Sakura tried to make herself noticed. Exactly. Naruto is right. But the next second, she asked in confusion. Naruto, how do you know his name? Oh, I checked the records. The last Team 7 had his name and photo. Hearing this, Kakashi's breath tightened. His heart turned complicated. He actually knows. Then Kakashi smiled bitterly, and his guilt instantly erupted. This child had suffered more than he imagined. He resents me. No, maybe he wants to say something. Kakashi suddenly trembled as a thought struck him. Then he recalled the third's evaluation of me, and combined it with my attitude now. Is he setting up a scheme against Konoha? No, against the higher-ups. He checked the records, learned his identity, gained the third's trust, and bonded with the heirs of the major clans. Then to his father's former subordinate, he revealed a little. Kakashi felt a chill down his back, but seeing my calm expression, he knew I was signaling him. Do not expose it yet. Just act as usual. Defying him earlier was a warning. Help him or expose him. Kakashi almost laughed at the thought. Better stay in the middle. If things go wrong, make him stop in time. After calming himself, Kakashi began the routine. Soon, after we introduced ourselves, he explained tomorrow's exercise, then vanished. Well, I think we should discuss tomorrow's survival exercise and how to cooperate. But before Sakura could finish, the result disappointed her. In the blink of an eye, Sasuke and I had vanished completely. Meanwhile, Kakashi looked at the file in his hand, utterly shocked inside. Same score, he was holding back. Full marks in Will of Fire, acting for others. In second year, against Uchiha Sasuke, he used Shisui's phantom body flicker fighting style. Did he realize it himself? After a long time, Kakashi closed his eye and muttered, this talent and wisdom surpass even Teacher Minato. He thinks the time is not ripe yet, so I should keep acting as usual. Kakashi felt a deep headache. Fine, whatever happens happens. After wildly imagining everything, Kakashi took out Makeout Paradise. I need to cool my head. But the next day, we three did not go early. Instead, I brought Sasuke and Sakura to my home for breakfast. Watching them act reserved at first, then completely drop their image and eat like crazy. A smile curved on my lips. No one can resist good food, especially kids who have never tasted true delicacies. But after everyone was full and ready to discuss tactics, Sasuke suddenly sensed from me an aura that felt deeply familiar, warm, making him want to come closer. And that familiar, intimate feeling felt like his father. Soon, noon arrived, right after we reached the meeting point. Kakashi arrived right behind us, seeing no impatience on our faces and no exhausted expressions. He knew his little trick had been seen through. Alright, enough small talk. Today's test is simple. As he spoke, he took out two bells and began explaining the rules. But when I heard someone would fail and be punished, I smiled. This traditional exercise was outdated and useless. 3 people fighting for 2 bells is a trap. It sparks infighting and makes one of the 3 sacrifice. Kakashi made it even more interesting, adding the lunchbox test himself, and nobody had passed yet. It was a test of human nature. Sasuke snorted after hearing it. Clearly, with my guidance, he had seen through the test too. Kakashi felt helpless, seeing the 3 faintly follow my lead. He could only sigh inwardly, as expected of Teacher Minato's child. This insight surpasses every ninja his age. But right then, he suddenly noticed the extra ninja pouch on my leg. Such thorough preparation. Did he make a battle plan already? Then let me see how talented the child of Minato and Kushina really is. Soon, the test began. The instant his voice fell, Kakashi's raised hand dropped too. All 4 vanished from the spot, but Kakashi soon reappeared, standing on a wide open field. Not bad, as ninja. Hiding your presence and position are basics. Spreading out is also correct, or I could take you all down. At this moment, we 3 were hidden in trees, communicating. But right after that, Sasuke rushed out first. Then with a thought, He pulled several kunai from his pouch and threw them. Seeing the kunai shoot toward him, Kakashi felt more disappointed. If this is all he has, then Sasuke will never surpass that man. But he had no time to think. The kunai arrived, yet Kakashi only tilted his head and dodged easily. Can kunai even kill anyone? But as soon as he spoke, explosive tags detonated beside him, and Kakashi was at the center. Now, Sasuke, I will help you. Sakura suddenly appeared in the open, not far from Kakashi's position, but just as she moved, Sasuke behind her shouted, "Idiot." That was substitution jutsu. Sakura froze when she heard him. Close call, now take a nap. Kakashi formed a seal one-handed when Sakura heard movement behind her and turned to punch. Kakashi's genjutsu had already activated. Sakura's face instantly went blank, and her body fell toward Kakashi on its own. But then, something strange happened as Kakashi reached out to catch Sakura before she fell. His hand passed straight through her body. What? Kakashi did not understand for a moment, but quickly reacted, phantom clone jutsu. When Kakashi looked up again, he froze on the spot. Because at some point, he had been surrounded by my many phantom clones. I have to say, your plan is not bad at all. Seeing Sasuke start gathering chakra, Kakashi took out Make Out Paradise. But you do not think this can beat me. Shut up. Sasuke formed seals and made 2 clones. Then all 3 pairs of hands moved. Fire release, great fireball jutsu. Not bad ninjutsu. But who can that attack hit? Kakashi no longer looked at Sasuke. From this distance, Great Fireball's damage was basically 0. Did they think Naruto's many clones could stop me? In that case, I will get a little serious and break through. Kakashi put away his book, then used body flicker, and appeared before the frontmost me, then kicked out with a punch. But strangely, he did not hit a real body. While my fist shot toward his face. No matter how many clones, it is useless. I thought you used shadow clones, so this clone jutsu was only a smokescreen. Kakashi suddenly felt curious, but the next second, he clutched his stomach and curled up on the ground. Kakashi's carelessness was understandable. He knew his own strength too well. If he got serious against us 3, he might use too much force. This is bad. So many clones, and Sasuke's great fireball was coming too. Kakashi retreated again and again, but while dodging countless clone attacks, the experienced Kaka sure quickly sensed something off because he found many shadow clones hidden among them. As one shadow clone punched out, Kakashi cried out and fell to the ground, but to his surprise, Sakura had somehow appeared behind him, crouching in perfect secrecy with Mayfly Jutsu, then formed seals, secret art, 1,000 years of death. Kakashi flew straight into the fireball. What a despicable move. Good thing I used a shadow clone first. Hiding behind a tree, Kakashi let out a breath. The clone's memory chilled his spine, but those shadow clones among the phantoms were Sasuke's. Impressive, but as he thought that, a kunai with an explosive tag flew in. Kakashi flickered away to dodge. Then the tag exploded, and he returned to the open, landing inside my phantom clone encirclement. Congratulations, you made me serious. Kakashi put away his lazy eye and praised my phantom clones. Then, let me see how your phantom body flicker differs from Shisui's. Maybe Konoha will gain another teleporting Naruto, or even a yellow flash. But Sasuke only sneered and quietly stepped back. Kakashi noticed something strange. Why is the Naruto before me not attacking? But right then, he realized he was trapped in genjutsu. Genjutsu release, it was a simple illusion, the most basic kind, disrupting the target's sight and hearing. And what it disrupted made Kakashi miss it at first. But after breaking it instantly, he wondered, why use such a useless genjutsu? Teacher Kakashi, can you handle this big gift? They are all explosive tags. Under every phantom clone's feet, several burning explosive tags waited, so that ninja pouch was full of tags. Absolutely heartless. Kakashi stopped struggling and raised his hands. You win. Sakura was the first to jump out. Her pink cheeks flushed as she kept looking at me, as if asking for praise. That simple genjutsu just now was cast by her with all her strength. Sasuke gave a faint smile and jumped down from the tree too. Congratulations, you passed. But that being said, Kakashi narrowed his eye and gave a strange laugh. There are only 2 bells, but 3 of us. So you want us to choose and eliminate one person. Hearing my words, Kakashi froze. Then who have you decided to eliminate? Simple. I will become the Jonin instructor. Hearing Naruto's words, Kakashi held his head. Breaking the rules again? Huh. Then I suddenly added, since we passed, there should be a reward. Right. Sakura and Sasuke also stared at Kakashi. Kakashi was not surprised. This child really wastes no chance to grow stronger. Of course, what ninjutsu do you want? Shadow clone jutsu. Hearing my words, Kakashi frowned at once. You do not know shadow clone. Of course, those were Sasuke's shadow clones, right? Kakashi pretended to nod. That depends on your future performance. Then he ended the test and vanished with body flicker. But after getting some distance, he could not help thinking, Sasuke's chakra is not enough for that many shadow clones, so Naruto must have made them himself, then transformed them into Sasuke. But that transformation jutsu was too good. Even I did not see through it. He wants multi-shadow clone. How does he know about that? After thinking for a while, Kakashi realized he was still clueless, unable to figure it out at all. Forget it, that child clearly means I should hide some things. When reporting to the third, soon, at the Hokage building, Naruto wants to learn ninjutsu. Hearing the third ask, Kakashi answered honestly. His clone jutsu is creative, and his battle talent is high. Hiding shadow clones among phantom clones played a major role, but what surprised me was that he has not mastered shadow clone. Not surprised by this, Hiruzen took a puff of smoke. I understand. You did well. Not agreeing directly, Hiruzen carefully reviewed my file, then tapped the desk, deep in thought. It has been almost 7 years since Shisui. Perhaps Naruto has Nanato's space-time talent and can learn Flying Thunder God. Thinking this, he dismissed Kakashi, then had his son Shinosuke bring the scroll of seals. At the same time, he thought everything he was doing was paving Asuma's path to become the 5th Hokage. Then later, let Naruto become Hokage. Where would that leave the Sarutobi clan? Now all that was missing was Kurenai joining Asuma. But he did not know I was heading to Hinata's Team 8 to win over Kurenai. But right then, a voice suddenly rang beside my ear. Lord Naruto, a bug is watching you. These voices only appeared recently, and after checking, I found they were plant voices. Hearing all things, as expected, meditation helped develop the Woods fruit. Hinata, your strength is already enough to take the Chunin exam, but why do you always hold back when you fight? Are you afraid of hurting me? Hinata hesitated, but still nodded and said, Teacher Kurenai. Naruto said not to use monster strength against companions. Kurenai smiled when she heard that. Teacher Minato's child really is different. Then she suddenly reacted, monster strength. Kurenai's beautiful eyes filled with disbelief. Is it strength like Lady Tsunade's being stared at like that? Hinata grew unsure. I think so. Try it, Kurenai said, taking out a kunai. Hinata naturally understood her meaning, so she took the kunai, and with a sharp crack, it was crushed into a lump. Kurenai stared in shock. My goodness. One punch could kill your Jonin teacher. But then she suddenly thought excitedly, if Naruto taught you this power, does he also have Lady Tsunade's secret art? The secret to eternal youth. But Hinata shook her head, then raised it and said seriously, Sorry, Teacher Kurenai, I accidentally said too much, so please keep it secret, or I can only. Before she finished speaking, a voice came from behind. Oh, what can you only do? I had appeared behind Hinata and gently tapped her little head, then greeted Kurenai. Maybe because of my long hair. The moment I appeared, Kurenai almost called out Teacher Minato. After a short pause, she forced a smile. So it is Naruto. Since you are here, Team 7 must have passed Kakashi's test. Amazing. Then to celebrate passing, I suggested barbecue at my house. Kurenai patted her chest and confidently said, my treat. Eat as much as you want. But she did not expect that I would pull the nearly fainting Hinata away. And by coincidence, someone appeared right on time. Kurenai said, sorry, Asuma, we are not suitable. And if you keep coming to me, people will misunderstand. All 9 rookies at the scene watched. The embarrassed Asuma, oh no, she got too excited and spoke too harshly, facing 9 children plus 1 dog's gaze. Asuma could only laugh awkwardly. Well, I will go first. Kurenai smiled bitterly too, then shamelessly returned to my house. Although rejecting Asuma might cause trouble later, she felt incredibly refreshed. After all these years, she finally said it. So she bought some wine on the way, but after drinking too much, she even messaged her best friend. So Mitarashi Anko charged over with a bag full of dango. At the same time, the third had received the scroll of seals from Shinosuke, unaware that another key part of his plan had been ruined by me. Asuma was destined not to win Kurenai, and the Sarutobi future might end by blonde hands. Soon, the next day arrived. I held my head, feeling dizzy, then made a wood clone, raised my palm and elementalized it, growing several alluring flowers. Soon, they formed 2 nutrient-rich fruits, then sent them to their rooms, leaving a note explaining the effects. Better not meet too soon. Come to think of it, I lost out. Around 10:30 that morning, Team 7 gathered at yesterday's training ground. Let us go, time for real missions. Kakashi put away his book and headed toward the Hokage building. Seeing this, we 3 followed. Soon, we reached the Hokage office. Hiruzen put down the papers in hand, then casually pulled some sheets from a stack taller than him, and found one. Here it is. Help Granny Rio find her runaway cat. What mission rank is it? Team 7 will take this mission. Kakashi left the Hokage office first. Sasuke quickly followed to question him. Sakura was not in a rush because I had not moved. What is it, Naruto? Grandpa, you lied to me. The third was stunned, but he quickly smiled and recovered. No rush. Kakashi already told me. Once you finish chakra training, Grandpa will teach you personally. Hearing this, Sakura was stunned. What is going on? Is Naruto the third Hokage's grandson? But that does not seem right. Then by some strange impulse, she looked up at the Hokage portraits. The first Hokage, the second, the third Hokage, and the fourth Hokage, Naruto. Fourth Hokage looks so much like you. As soon as she said that, the third's hand trembled over the files, but I acted completely normal. I looked up and smiled. He does look similar. But before I finished, Kakashi pushed the door open and urged us. Time to go, mission first. Okay, goodbye Grandpa. I waved to the third with a smile, then took Sakura's hand and left the Hokage office. Just as she tried to speak, she realized I was holding her hand. So, Sakura's face visibly heated up, and her thoughts raced, connecting one thing after another. She reached a shocking answer. Sensing something off, I let go of Sakura's hand and smiled. Sakura, your chakra control talent is good. Your only flaw is having too little chakra. You need to work hard. Or while Sasuke and I learn new jutsu, will you stay where you are? Sakura noticed my tone was natural, and fear crept in. Though compared to my tone in the office, it had changed only slightly. The meaning was completely different. Basically, you are weak, and know things you should not know. So keep your mouth shut, or even I cannot help you. You may even drag me down. For a moment, Sakura broke into a cold sweat. Sasuke, who wanted to question him, also stopped in place. So that is it. Kakashi will teach us ninjutsu, so these low-rank missions are acceptable. Then everyone went to catch the cat, but we found it too easily. They did not know I had interfered, because once I saw the cat's photo, every plant in Konoha sent me its location. After that, Kakashi arranged our chakra control training. But to his surprise, I succeeded at tree climbing first try, and even the advanced water walking came easily. Kakashi was shocked by my talent, and this made Sakura and Sasuke admire me even more. Meanwhile, in the Hokage storage room, the third looked at the sealed scroll of seals, but his reaching hand stopped. This is not right. If his strength grows too fast and the will of fire falls behind, he may slip from control. Better take it step by step. When future missions show him, he only has multi-shadow clone and lacks other combat jutsu. By then, I will teach him Flying Thunder God. From the scroll, when I saw the third return with Kakashi, disappointment flashed in my eyes. Because even if I did nothing now, Orochimaru would kill him anyway, but dying as Konoha's protector was too kind for someone like him. Soon, the third explained why he came. To keep his promise and teach me a powerful forbidden jutsu. But to his surprise, one demonstration was all I needed. Seeing countless blonde clones, not just Kakashi's team, even the third was dumbfounded. No, never send ANBU to monitor him again. If this child causes trouble, my Hokage tower may be torn apart. After a few reminders, he hurried off. Since the rookies had just graduated, he still had plenty to handle. But as I watched his back, a chill flashed through my eyes. Old man, even after I controlled my speed, you still spent the whole time guarding against me. After taking a deep breath, I released multi-shadow clone with one seal. Countless memories rushed into my mind, so I quickly sat down and entered meditation. Only then did the mental pressure ease. I never expected shadow clones could reach such numbers. Naruto is amazing. Sakura felt her road ahead was far, while Sasuke asked curiously, how many shadow clones did you make? This was what he wanted to know most. With his current chakra, he could make 5 at most. No more than that. But to his surprise, my next answer nearly made his eyes pop out. I smiled and replied, probably around 300,000. Hearing that answer, Kakashi, Sakura, and Sasuke froze, because multi-shadow clone is forbidden. And even Kakashi could barely make 10, but once he released them, he might die on the spot. What they did not know was that I had understated it, because with the Woods fruit, if my clones entered Sage mode, the number limit was far higher, and if I fist-bumped Kurama for Ninshu, 1,000,000 would be the baseline. With that many shadow clones, each would still have enough chakra. With phantom body flicker, phantoms plus real shadow clones could break through in an instant. Add Susanoo armor and massive tags, and it would be absurd. Calm down now. After hesitating for a long time, Sasuke finally spoke. Naruto, I will trade fire release jutsu for your training insight, can I? But before he finished, I cut him off. No need. I am not good with fire release. The hope in Sasuke's eyes visibly went out. But my next words lit that hope again. I have no training insight, but I can teach you some other jutsu, like phantom body flicker, or a jutsu I am still developing. A jutsu still in development. Sasuke and Sakura were shocked again. Late that night, when my white Zetsu would clone returned, I came out of meditation. They ate them. Good. This matter still needs time to accept. In that case, that matter can be done early. The next second, my hand elementalized. Then I sent a white Zetsu would clone to find Kakuzu and throw Asuma's bounty before him. I will leave this task to you. Don't worry, main body, I won't expose us. With that, the white Zetsu would clone vanished. After the clone left, I suddenly smiled and said, watched long enough. Getting jealous, right? With that, I appeared inside the sealed space. And the sewer had become a blue sea and sky. The Ninetales was wearing sunglasses, lounging on a chair made of mental energy, with a huge beach umbrella overhead, enjoying the sea breeze and listening to the tune I once hummed. Hey Kurama, long time no see, hearing me. Kurama instantly grew alert. How much chakra? But to his surprise, I smiled and shook my head. No, I won't ask you for it. You'll give it willingly. Just treat it as rent. They finally can't hold back, right? Come on, mere Sharingan power means nothing to me. But soon, Kurama went silent, because outside, my real body had beside it a white Zetsu style would clone, but there was no mental energy inside, clearly just an empty would clone body. So, he remembered what I said when we first met, that he could live as a human. I spent a long time creating a clone without mental energy. Want this clone as your human-shaped body. Hearing that, Kurama was instantly moved. So you have been trying all these years. That's right, when I knew I was Naruto, my first thought was Ninshu. But the forest fruit made Kurama less necessary. Its power to absorb nutrients was almost like Ninshu, and I could use nutrients to achieve the same effect. But these nutrients involve my deepest secret. So besides Ino and Hinata and Tenten, those three, only the ones who got it yesterday. Kurenai and Anko had it too. I almost forgot two others. They were the first batch, directly nourished by my nutrients. Though they were test subjects, at least the result was good. Then Kurama asked uncertainly, is that really possible? I waved it off, of course. What else did you think? Why else did I avoid other paths? But listen carefully. If this would clone dies, your mental energy won't return. You'll suffer heavy mental damage. And once you become human, you must live like one. People need food to live. If you don't eat, you really can die. Hearing this, Kurama secretly wiped his tears and snorted. Don't think this means I'll thank you. Yeah, mighty Lord Kurama, so fierce. Fist bump. I raised my fist. Kurama was not surprised. So you really know the sage's Ninshu. Isn't that normal? Kurama gave a proud snort, then raised his fist. But listen. Once we use Ninshu, all the secrets in your heart and your dark side, I will see them. I just waved my hand, looking unconcerned. I don't mind you knowing. It's not like you can do much. As I said that, our fists met. Just kidding, but some things are best left unseen. Not because I fear you knowing, but because you might not handle them. I said it like a joke. Kurama rolled his eyes like a person. I have no interest in a kid's secrets. But moments later, Kurama went silent. He looked at my calm surface. Yet he couldn't see any real secrets, only the darkness deep in my heart. Without Ninshu, he never could have imagined that this boy, brighter than Minato, hid such darkness deep inside. Even as a tailed beast of millennia, he couldn't help being shaken. Seeing that, I spread my hands and smiled. Well, are you in or not? Just say it. I'm in. To hell with the ninja world. This time Kurama reached out first. I dropped my smile. My eyes turned ice cold, and my fist met Kurama's again. He soon understood my intent. What do you want me to do? It was the first time Kurama spoke to me like that. No rush. I'll take this mental energy out first. After it enters the white Zetsu clone, you'll need time to adapt. Also, mental energy gets consumed. If you use too much, come back. What do you mean? You actually trust me to go out? Kurama's eyes widened. He could hardly believe it. Your main body is in me. Without mental energy, you won't last. Go wherever you want. From now on, you're free. After saying that, I left my mindscape, returned to my body and focused. Sure enough, in my mind, there was a faint self-awareness. So with a thought, the clone raised its own hand and bumped fists with me. Ninshu Chakra Link. Then, I injected Kurama's consciousness into the clone body. Moments later, the white Zetsu would clone opened its eyes, and my bright blue eyes turned into fox eyes. At the same time, the blonde hair shifted, quickly turning crimson red. Even the face changed, becoming more feminine and fox-like. You even know disguise. Now you look about 60%. Like Hashirama's wife, Mito Uzumaki. Humph, none of your business. My eye twitched. No need to change your voice. Almost no one has heard it. Kurama also froze. That voice was Mito Uzumaki's. This should be fine now. Only then did I nod. Alright, go have fun. We'll talk missions later. Hearing that, Kurama slowly stood, opened the window and breathed out. Long time no see, Ninja World. Lord Kurama is back. With that, a red chakra cloak appeared. Don't rush. Your chakra will still be sensed by Sensor Ninja, and when using chakra, don't put on a tailed beast cloak. But Kurama turned away, a smile curling on his lips. Not know, was that the sight of him? Made my whole body crawl. Enough, I'll be back in a month. After saying that, Kurama tried to jump out, but to his surprise, I instantly made a shadow clone and grabbed him back. I knew it. You don't even know basic ninjutsu. Why would I know that? Fair point. Then my shadow clone will teach you some basic ninjutsu. You can't use that body to spit out tailed beast balls. Kurama heard that and said, fine. Then the shadow clone took him away. Not long after they left, someone suddenly knocked on the door. I opened it, and sure enough, Sasuke was there. He held a pile of scrolls, probably fire-style jutsu scrolls. On the massacre night, I had missed a few places, so it wasn't strange he had them. Naruto, I'm counting on you. I really need power. Sasuke's eyes were red before coming. Everything that happened today had crushed him hard. Before me, his confidence was gone, even from Sakura. He felt real pressure, but to his surprise, I said nothing, and simply raised one fist. Come on, bump fists with me. Though Sasuke was confused, he did not hesitate and bumped fists with me as Ninshu activated. Sasuke's eyes widened. He felt a new chakra inside him. It felt a little unsettling, but its strength left him amazed. This power. Naruto, you. But Sasuke soon understood my intent. Thank you, Naruto. He bowed to me. Clearly, he knew how important this chakra was. It would let him spend all night focused completely on training, without wasting time refining chakra. And Sasuke also felt a powerful life force inside him. It was healing nature chakra. And Sasuke's eyes reddened. Seeing that, I smiled and waved, go. He looked at me deeply and left. But downstairs, he suddenly froze in place. One thought lingered in his mind. Why was Naruto's image replacing his father's more and more? Stop thinking nonsense. Cherish the time this chakra lasts. That's what matters most. After Sasuke left, I washed up and slept. Soon, the next morning, after training fire style all night, Sasuke finally felt his exhausted body. Without Naruto's chakra, I would have collapsed by now. But then, he clenched his fist and made a firm decision. Naruto helped me this much. If I don't help him later, the Uchiha honor I cling to will be a joke. But just then, hunger suddenly growled in his stomach. Guess I'll go freeload breakfast at Naruto's. But Sasuke never expected that soon after he left where he had been lying, a red figure appeared. So this was Naruto's plan, using the link of Ninshu chakra to give that Uchiha brat my chakra with its recovery and vast reserves. Even a useless fool could become a decent ninja. Kurama suddenly smiled. If I'm right, the chakra in that Uchiha brat can be pulled back anytime, and even his own chakra can be drawn out with it. Losing all chakra means death. Naruto probably wants me to do that. Interesting. With that, Kurama vanished with a body flicker. The days after that were simple. Every day we finished routine missions or secretly helped our close people grow stronger. Kurama also joined the little circle, showing up for lunch every day. After eating, he would sneak off to do unknown missions. But did he think I would not know? Through my senses, over 100 new Chunin and more than a dozen new Jonin held seeds of Kurama's chakra. I simply smiled at it. Kurama was smarter than expected. But what surprised me most was that one day, the plants told me, a drunken bragging old man entered the village, and I knew my first C-rank mission had arrived. Soon, Team 7 accepted it, packed their luggage, and gathered at Konoha's gate, ready to head for the land of waves. But they had not gone far. I sensed 2 waves of malice coming. Then the big tree spoke to me. Lord Naruto, 2 shady-looking creeps have been watching you. Then more voices followed. Lord Naruto, grant us strength and let us handle them. But I quickly replied through my thoughts, telling them not to act. Soon, we left Konoha's territory. The sky was clear, yet a puddle appeared ahead. In almost an instant, everyone in Team 7 noticed it, but Kakashi stayed calm. He trusted the 3 would see it, and after we stepped past the puddle, 2 figures appeared at once. Then chains rang through the air. The demon brothers worked perfectly together, taking Kakashi down instantly. In just a few breaths, all the Konoha ninja were dead. Old man, you're next, right? Tazuna's once terrified face suddenly twisted into a grin. Then the world before the demon brothers changed completely. Their eyes went wide. Their minds were clearly awake, yet vines had already bound their bodies. Damn it, when did the genjutsu start? No matter how they struggled, their bodies only shook harder, unable to break free. But in reality, the 5 of us had not passed the puddle. Well done, Sakura, your genjutsu has improved. Kakashi praised her, but Sakura said nothing. She only glanced toward me. Damn Konoha ninja, you won't get intel from us. Under my careful control, once they broke the illusion, they crushed the poison in their mouths. Kakashi exposed their identities at once. Glanced at Tazuna, and Tazuna looked extremely guilty. After that, he confessed everything. After a short discussion, we set off again toward the land of waves. But before long, a thick wave of malice appeared. Clearly, Zabuza Momochi had arrived with Haku. Kakashi quickly calmed his shaken heart, and noticed something unusual too. This mission was growing bigger. Hidden in the dark, Zabuza frowned, then hurled the great blade from his back. Kakashi shouted, "Get down," then pushed his senses to the limit. Everyone else had already dropped, but I was still standing. As the executioner's blade reached me, "Naruto, get down." Sakura rushed toward me, but in the next moment, the massive blade stopped before me. "Naruto," Kakashi looked stunned, while Zabuza thought he had succeeded. Don't rush, your turn is coming." But when he turned, Zabuza froze in shock. I was holding the executioner's blade in one hand. Zabuza's heart shook, and for a moment, he forgot his blade had been taken. At that moment, to him, the me before him was just as dangerous as Kakashi. But the arrogant Zabuza still felt confident. There was no way he would hand over his longtime weapon, so he ignored Tazuna, guarded by Kakashi, and rushed straight toward me. But Kakashi was no pushover. He instantly blocked my front and fought Zabuza head-on. During the fight, I did nothing, just watched from the side until Zabuza lost and Haku moved to save him. I suddenly appeared before them. "Kakashi-sensei, keep the mission going. I'll leave briefly and return soon," with my back to Kakashi. My blue eyes opened the eternal Mangekyo. Haku and Zabuza's eyes widened. Then both passed out. No matter what happened in the illusion, only 1 second passed outside. "Be careful." Kakashi reached out, but changed the words at his lips. I smiled faintly, then vanished carrying one in each hand. The moment I turned, I withdrew my eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. After taking them some distance away, my mind entered the sealed space. "Kurama, come to the land of waves, there's work." After a long while, Kurama opened his eyes annoyed. "This better be important. There are countless assets here, enough to build a whole country. Bring storage scrolls, hurry, I'm coming." When Kurama heard the money part, his ears perked up instantly. After confirming the location, he lay down. Then, his main mind returned to his human body outside. On my side, Haku's mask was removed, revealing a face more delicate than a girl's. Zabuza still kept his eyes shut, but his rapid breathing gave away his current state of mind. After they woke from the reading world, I revealed my wood style power and subdued Zabuza and Haku. To save trouble, I also bumped fists and planted Kurama's chakra seeds inside them. Then while the bridge was built, I secretly wiped out Gato's base and handed his wealth to Kurama. At the same time, I awakened my own Uzumaki bloodline power, Kagura mind's eye and sealing chains, with a wide-range detection jutsu. Once the mind's eye opened, everything within dozens of kilometers could be sensed through chakra, especially after merging the forest fruit. Within 100 kilometers, every movement entered my senses. Next was testing the sealing chains. With that, I entered the sealed space. "Kurama, can you do me a favor? Let me beat you once." I thought he would refuse, but he answered right away, "Sure. Tailed beasts feel no pain. Just don't go too far." I closed my eyes, and with one thought, hot chakra in my back erupted. 9 sealing chains shot out behind me, and instantly wrapped Kurama's huge body tight. Then with just a light pull, Kurama's scream echoed through the sealed space. This familiar power, is it Kushina? Kurama instinctively felt fear. Under the chains, even moving was hard. All his chakra was sealed inside him. But soon he realized something was wrong. No, these chains are stronger than Kushina's. Why? Why is there no malice in these chains? Wait, but the next second, they vanished. He looked down. As I waved at him, later Kurama, "Go count your money." After my mind returned to reality, Kurama froze for a few seconds, then let out a deafening roar. Luckily, I cut the link to Kurama in time. As expected of sealing chains, I barely used force, and Kurama was pinned down. Handling other tailed beasts will be easier. And besides that, if I remember right, even a giant Buddha can be sealed by them. By the same logic, Susanoo might be sealable too. I was very satisfied with the chains. A month later, Naruto Bridge was complete, and our group returned to Konoha. The days after that were quiet. I either flirted with the girls, or did missions, until 1 month before the Chunin exams. I entered the sealed space. "Kurama, I found another big project." When he heard I wanted to open the seal, Kurama's pupils shrank, mine in half. "Can you bring it back?" I chuckled and did not lie, placing my hand on the seal formula. "Now, I'm going to open the seal. My cheap parents left chakra behind. I plan to let them, like you, live in another form. Also, Mom should remember the Uchiha ruins. Then we can release my cheap dad and your other half from the Reaper. So I'm tearing the seal now." When the seal was about 1/3 open, a hand suddenly landed on my shoulder. "Naruto, don't open the seal." I turned around and saw a man in the Hokage cloak appear. He had long blonde hair and a gentle smile on his handsome face. But when I saw him, the first thought in my mind was strange, though it was related to this old father. He was not the main one I remembered. Instead, it was the Lulan Queen. But right then, Minato narrowed his eyes and said, "Questions can wait." This isn't the place to talk. Then he glanced at Kurama behind the gate. On the beach, Kurama bared a fierce grin toward the man who split him apart. Kurama could not simply forgive him. Alright, Kurama, he is only dead now. Once this chakra runs out, his remaining will returns to the Reaper. Hearing my words, Minato froze instantly, because when I called him, Kurama actually stopped and wagged his tail. What confused Minato even more was that I knew about the Reaper. Naruto, what happened? Did Kurama trick you into opening this seal? Before Minato could finish, Kurama suddenly burst into laughter. Me trick him. If I could trick him. After Kurama finished complaining, I looked at his resentful eyes and smiled. You truly sensed nothing. My smile carried a hidden chill. If he dared deny it, he would stay in the Reaper forever. As soon as I spoke, Kurama's laughter stopped, and Minato also sensed the strange tension. Faintly feeling this question was not simple, but since it was his own son, he did not overthink it, so he answered honestly, I can sense it, but only for brief moments. After all, I left Little Chakra. Most of the time, I was asleep, so I only saw broken fragments. At this point, Minato paused, his face filled with helpless bitterness. From how things look now, you already know many things. You must resent me. But I shook my head. Maybe at first, but Kurama truly was our chance to rise. Minato's eyes widened, unable to react for a moment. But right then, I placed my hand on the seal paper again, and a red-haired woman appeared. Before the two of us and the beast, it was Kushina Uzumaki, who even near death could still hold Kurama down. Facing Kushina's question, Minato could not explain, but Kushina only asked him casually. Then turned around, looking me over with her beautiful eyes, before pulling her son into a hug. But after some comforting, Kushina suddenly snapped her head around and stared at Kurama, coldly saying, Nine Tails, seems you forgot my power, daring to tempt my son. Here we go again. Kurama rolled his eyes, then repeated what he told Minato. Kushina looked to Minato for confirmation. Minato smiled awkwardly. Kushina, Naruto and Kurama are friends now. But the moment he said that, Kushina burst out laughing. Kurama. What a strange name. Kurama got heated. Foolish woman, laugh if you want. Seeing Kushina switch moods so fast and release sealing chains at will, Kurama quickly calmed down. After all, they were not enemies now. Alright, since you made peace with Kurama, this seal can be opened. Mom has so much to tell you. After they caught up, Minato and Kushina's chakra was nearly spent, but just as they were about to say goodbye, I raised my hand and stopped them. Wait, I can replenish your chakra. As I reached out, a pale green orb of light appeared. Inside this chakra, there was mental energy and nature chakra of every attribute. Just place your hands inside it, and it will restore your mind and chakra. Minato was still shocked, but Kushina bit her finger and reached out, touching the pale green light. Seeing this, Minato also reached out and touched the light. The next second, white light covered them, and their fading bodies grew solid again. I can keep making this light, so no need to rush your words now. Kushina's eyes widened as she looked over her son curiously. Naruto, you really grew up. But the next second, she suddenly got furious. It must be that damn Jiraiya. Next time I see him, I'll smash him. Minato laughed awkwardly and quickly stopped Kushina from blaming Kurama. Kushina, if you hit me, I will never tell you how Naruto lived all these years. Hearing Kurama, Kushina instantly calmed down because she remembered I was a Jinchuriki and recalled what she went through. This child was just born and yet she shook off Minato's hand. I told you, I already told you. How could that old man be so kind? You pig-headed man full of the will of fire. While they argued, I directly reached out into the 8 trigram seal, then pulled hard. With a sharp crack, both seals were unlocked. As for the so-called key, I had absorbed many nutrients, including plenty of sealing memories, so deriving the key was easy. Then Kushina suddenly said, in that case, let's move somewhere else. But Kurama quickly refused. No, I made this place with mental energy. I think it is fine. Kurama, it is time to move. Hearing me, the two humans and beast were confused, but what I said next made their eyes widen. I smiled and explained, of course, to the real world. That way, you can adapt to new bodies. And Minato froze in place. What new bodies? Naruto, can you revive us? If I remember correctly, the second Hokage Tobirama had a jutsu that could summon the dead back from the Pure Land. But before he could finish, I instantly raised my hand. No, not Edo Tensei. I will give you new bodies, guided by your current consciousness. Basically, resurrection. Kushina and Minato were stunned. They understood each word, but not together. Do not resist. I will absorb you both, then move you into new bodies outside. After they agreed, I said no more, and used the forest fruits absorption to draw them into my body. Soon, with a hum, the sealed space rippled. and I returned to reality. Kurama remained in the sealed space, glancing at the broken seal. Then he also left the space, returning to reality. Lord Kurama, Haku and Zabuza had changed into new outfits. Haku fully wore women's clothing, while Zabuza left his mist gear behind and wore wandering clothes. You two watch this place. I'm heading out. Remember, if they refuse, control them with genjutsu. I'll deal with them later. Kurama glanced at the Konoha ninja. Training chakra nature changes. They were all famous failures in Konoha. No resources, talent, or connections. Only wasting their days away. Yes, Haku respectfully agreed. Then looked to Zabuza. Mr. Zabuza, our choice was not wrong. At first, Zabuza might have scoffed and said to wait, but this time, he could not argue, because these days he had watched countless nameless genin use only 1 week to rise close to his former level. And it was not even their limit. If this kept going, the ninja world's future might truly belong to that kid. Meanwhile, after my back transformed, I formed 2 white Zetsu wood clones. The next second, with thought control, a self-aware nutrient mass at my brow flowed down my arm into the wood clone's mind. Soon, with my help, the nutrients spread through the clone. And after reaching balance, the long blonde hair visibly turned red. Now she only had to adapt. Then I did the same to revive Minato. While we waited, Kurama had arrived in the real world. After 15 minutes, Kushina woke first, looking at an unfamiliar ceiling and feeling warmth on her skin. That familiar feeling brought tears to her eyes as she pulled me into her arms. Naruto, late love is cheaper than grass. Kushina glared at Kurama, read the room. But the next second, wait, Kushina let go of me and circled Kurama's human body. Her fists tightened. Kurama, why do you look like Grandma Mito? And, did you make Naruto grow up too fast? Now Kurama was stunned. I am a tailed beast. Do not judge me with human thinking. Alright, Kushina, Kurama, calm down. After Minato woke, he quickly stopped Kushina, and I took the chance to change topics. Now only step 2 remains. Mom, you remember the Uzumaki ruins, right? Kushina lightly bit her finger, hesitated for a moment, then nodded. I remember the place, but after so many years, finding it may take time. As long as we can find it, everything becomes easier. Hearing my words, Minato frowned at once. You plan to summon the Reaper, then trade back my soul and Kurama's in half. But if it is a ritual, it needs a sacrifice. Judging from the Reaper death seal, taking our souls back will not be simple. The caster may need to offer their body or soul. But before he finished, I raised my hand and stopped him. Do not worry about that. I have 2 plans. Bring the mask back first. After speaking, I thought to myself, the first is copying Orochimaru, and the second is to see if the Reaper's harvesting is stronger, or my forest fruit's absorption is. If I can absorb the Reaper, I might become a ritual god someday. We can discuss the Uzumaki later, but can you first tell Mom how you lived all these years? Kushina held back tears. If you won't say it, let Kurama say it. But I shook my head. I have a more direct way. Do not resist the illusion. As I spoke, my bright blue eyes opened. The eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Seeing this, Minato and Kushina were shocked. That is the Uchiha Mangekyo Sharingan. Naruto, how did you get those eyes? After all, if they were transplanted Sharingan, they should not be able to close. Facing their confusion, I chuckled and replied, if I can revive both of you, getting Sharingan is not that hard. True, but before Minato finished, Kushina covered his mouth. Minato, stop interrupting. Naruto, let Mom see how you lived all these years. Then I will begin. Do not resist Tsukuyomi. As the eternal Mangekyo spun, Kushina and Minato did not resist and were drawn into the illusion world. After they saw my memories of my tragic childhood before age 3, the illusion world collapsed and Kushina broke down. But after their minds returned, Minato suddenly looked up, held Kushina's hand and said, Naruto, do whatever you want from now on. Do not worry. Even if you rebel, we support you. If there is anything we can do, just say it. Even if you destroy Konoha, Kushina and I will help. But I said nothing. Instead, Kurama could not help speaking. Minato, relax. I remember everyone who hurt Naruto. You will know. Destroying Konoha is too easy on them. We have a better way. Minato slowly turned to Kurama, and life gradually returned to his face. What way? Minato knew and guessed many things, but after seeing it himself, he knew he had overestimated himself, and Kushina's reaction kept pushing him toward collapse.